Media Zealot is a YouTuber who rose to prominence in 2016 with a series titled Advanced Sci-Fi Civilizations Too Stupid to Really Exist, which took a look at science fiction media and pointed out flaws in their settings that made them less realistic. Since then, he's been propelled to a pretty sizable subscriber count of over 130,000 subscribers at the time of this script. I myself enjoy his content, but when he started making a new series called Villains Too Stupid to Win, I noticed a pattern in the presentation and framing of his content that I find disheartening. I noticed that on the surface, the crux of his videos seems to follow a classic CinemaSins approach to film criticism, taking the idea of diegetic flaws in a piece of media as an inherently negative quality of said media. And I think having that attitude can hamper your ability to enjoy some really quality entertainment. Also, by the way, remember the fact that I brought up CinemaSins? It will be important later. But to explain what I mean in one sentence that makes me sound less up my own ass, basically, every villain is too stupid to win, so that's why they don't. If they weren't too stupid to win, the heroes wouldn't emerge victorious, and there would be no story. If you look at the videos in these series, Media Zealot, in my opinion, unintentionally frames this as a flaw of the films. This criticism also applies to a lesser extent to the other series as well. Most of the sci-fi civilizations that he looks at in those videos have those fatal flaws for a reason, and those flaws are often examined in the narrative. And those civilizations are usually either changed or wiped out by the end of the story because they have those flaws. They are too stupid to exist in their current form, which is why the narrative is usually dedicated to seeing them fail or collapse. For an example of what I'm talking about in the villain series, let's look at Sauron from The Lord of the Rings. His end comes about because he was overwhelmingly arrogant and he believed in his own superiority of the people of Middle-earth. He underestimated the power of men, elves, dwarves, and especially hobbits. So the moral of the story is that anyone can change the world no matter who they are, and that's why it's so iconic. If Sauron wasn't overconfident and arrogant, he would have wiped out Isildur during the Battle of the Last Alliance, and Isildur would have never cut off the ring, and there would have never been a story. He would have just ruled Middle-earth. Now, remember when I brought up CinemaSins earlier in the video? I talked about them because they're like the precise example of where I don't want Media Zealot to end up. Because the content made by CinemaSins, it seems to show a genuine belief that every action in the films they watch has to make 100% logical sense and that the characters aren't meant to make mistakes or the films themselves are wrong or flawed. They call it everything wrong with. For Zealot, I'm pretty sure he understands that like the flaws in a villain or in the setting aren't like things that are wrong with the movie. He doesn't actually criticize entertainment like that. I just disagree with his presentation by calling like those flaws stupid. Because on the surface, those videos seem a lot like an everything wrong with video from CinemaSins. So the people who watch his content might not realize that he's not directing the criticism towards films, shows, games that he's looking at. But before I wrap this video up, I want to say that I think Media Zealot is not a bad person or a bad content creator. I think he's amazing. He's got great editing chops and a very dry humor in all his videos. And my God, his technical ability is just far surpasses my own, just completely eclipses it. His videos have so much value, and he brings up legitimate oversights and plot holes in the media that he looks at. I just don't like the framing of those two series, and I want to challenge the attitude that I think is unhealthy and leads to people enjoying their entertainment less. And full disclosure, I did have an exchange of emails with Media Zealot during the production of this video, and he was very welcoming with the criticism, and he was nothing but cordial. I try to be as cordial and professional as I could be as well. Please do not leave any hate towards him at all. Go watch his videos, leave a like. I think they're pretty funny, so you'll probably think they're pretty funny too. But just to wrap this up, my main fear regarding film criticism, media consumption in general in 2022 isn't like the general audience getting dumber and dumber and like, you know, buying the newest Call of Duty or buying a ticket to go see the newest Michael Bay film or whatever. Like, that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is this huge prevalence of these armchair film critics who just overanalyze and nitpick everything to the point where legitimate criticism from real critics just gets overlooked in this sea of just things that you would never notice in actually watching the film unless you were looking for them. And I think that the way that he frames these two series helps to spread that sort of attitude, even though he doesn't want to. Like, I talked to him about it. He definitely doesn't want that. So I just think that he can adjust his videos a little bit, adjust the tone slightly, and then maybe remind the audience, you know, that he actually likes these films. Because he said in the emails we shared that he does enjoy these films. And I think if he remembers to do that, he can make sure that his audience keeps a healthy attitude towards the films they, well, not just the films, games, TV, any media that they ingest. They can keep a healthy attitude about it. But yeah, that's going to about do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to help out the channel. If you want to support me financially, head on over to Twitch. Maybe cheer some bits, maybe subscribe. You get ad-free viewing and increased channel points. You can spend those channel points to make the streams, you know, a lot more fun. So if you want to help me out there, you can. But that'll do it for this video. See you guys later. Thank you.